On this edition of Falmouth in Focus, the town gets to work planning for fiscal year 2026. A new school year kicks off with the annual convocation of teachers and staff, and a majestic tall ship, the Corwith Cramer, sails into Falmouth Harbor. Later, a community stroll through science, an open farm day, a beloved craft fair, and one very memorable swim. This is Falmouth in Focus, and it starts right now. Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus. I'm Michael Kasparian.
And I'm Eileen Preston.
It's that time of year again when the town of Falmouth starts seeking approval for next year's budget. Town manager Mike Renshaw was at the August 25th Select Board meeting to present the fiscal year 2026 budget.
For the third time in a little over 2 years as your town manager, I'm really proud to have the opportunity to present tonight an overview of the FY26 proposed capital spending plan, as well as the 10-year capital improvement plan. I'm going to just briefly talk about the five kind of cornerstones or elements, guiding principles and priorities. Of paramount importance, obviously, is to ensure that we address imminent threats to the health, welfare, and safety of citizens, employees, and our property assets throughout the community. Preserving existing operational levels, obviously meeting any legal requirements of federal or state agencies. The improvement of infrastructure to include the physical condition and protection of our assets and making sure that they operate in an efficient, effective manner. And lastly, serving to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of how we deliver those services to the community. The FY26 total of $29.8 million represents a significant portion of the $803,563,000 total 10-year capital plan spending proposal. The reference point, the FY25, last year's voted capital spending plan, was about $19.5 million. So I'm going to illustrate in the later sections of the presentation what elements or what projects make up the significant increase in spending for this proposed FY26. In order to get us through final design and through the bidding document stage, we're going to request borrowing of about $4.7 million, $4.7 million in borrowing, about $700,000 in cash from previous appropriations. So the total amount is about $5.4 million. Water main replacements, if you all remember, the commitment was to do $3 million of water main replacements based upon revenue generated through the rates. We're upping that this year. We're proposing to up that to $4.6 million in water line replacements. The Trotting Park baseball fields, primarily free cash, but $3.2 million. We did anticipate and knew the need for the replacement of the library windows, roof, and AC repairs at $1.4 million. The $1.8 million, pretty standard amount for road maintenance, construction of sidewalks, fire engine, and ambulance. So a little over $1.1 million. Wastewater outfall permitting, here it is, $1.34 million for the permitting EIR, environmental impact report, and conceptual design. And as you all know, the school is contemplating consolidation, which could in effect make Morse Pond not needed in the school's inventory. So what we're proposing is $150,000 in free cash, utilizing free cash to do a feasibility study. And the last item, again, under these highlights, other than the borrowing that we've talked about, is Trotting Park. And lastly, again, the ask tonight, and although it's not critical, the ask tonight is that the board consider accepting and submitting to the Finance Committee with or without amendments the FY26 proposed capital spending plan.
Your motion is to accept the FY capital plan as presented by Mr. Renshaw?
Yes. Second.
And there's a second. Any further discussion? There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you very much.
The Select Board voted unanimously to submit the plan to the Finance Committee.
Looking ahead at the town of Falmouth's 10-year plan, major projects include a $55 million police station and a $10 million building and facilities needs analysis in 2027.
Each September, before the classrooms fill up, teachers and staff gather for a time-honored tradition, the Falmouth Public Schools Convocation. It's a chance to rededicate to the mission of education, hear from district leaders, and celebrate the start of a new school year.
The most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, a lot of people say that.
Welcome to 2025 Convocation. It was so good to see so many smiles and hugs this morning. It was great. So much Clipper pride. Well, just a few notes on the 2025-26 school year priority. We will continue on the path we've set and will get better at the things we do the best. Talent. Talent requires practice, so we're going to keep practicing and we're going to keep stretching. While we will stay the course for this year, we know that the school committee has decisions to make in the months ahead regarding grade configuration and school buildings. Those decisions will affect our direction in years to come. To ensure clarity in those actions, we will need a 5-year plan as the school committee's decision shapes our future actions. More will come about this in the future, but this year, let's focus on getting better at what we do and let our talent shine. We're going to begin our show, Clipper's Got Talent, with a few words from our groups who appreciate you so much. First, our school committee, the FEA, FEF, and
we are the Falmouth School Committee and we've got talent. Vive la France!
My talent is farming.
My talent is I'm a nurse.
I'm a fisherman. I love to bike.
I play tennis.
I'm a climber.
Editing videos.
I'm a journalist, but none of us are as talented as our staff.
Hey Tracy, how are you? What are you doing?
Hey Friday, I've been searching and scouting for talent for our students all summer.
Oh, would you like some help?
I'd love some help.
I have binoculars.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness! Look at all this talent!
Oh wow!
This and our volunteers?
It's gonna be a great year.
There's such a sense of energy and renewal that comes with Convocation. It reminds us how fortunate we are to have dedicated teachers and staff guiding the students of our community.
Yeah, good luck all year. From the classroom to the sea, the tall ship Corwith Cramer recently sailed into our harbor. Operated by the Sea Education Association, this vessel gives students the chance to learn about marine science in a hands-on way while experiencing life aboard a traditional sailing ship.
So much fun.
Love to do that.
How you doing? My name is Jeff Schell, and I'm a chief scientist and oceanography professor with Sea Education Association. This is a fun day for us here on board the SSV Corwith Cramer. We have an open ship for the community here in Woods Hole. So we're inviting folks to come aboard and learn about some of the things we do here. One of the things we do here at SEA is we take students out to sea so that they learn to love the sea. And they do that by becoming sailors, mariners. They're a crew member on board our ships. So they're learning how to set all of these sails, work all of those lines. But they're also going out to sea as scientists. But as sailing scientists, they're also learning to study the oceans. So we're welcoming members from the community on board our ship today to learn about these things. To explore the sails, the lab, and the science that we do.
My name is Ryan Reed, and I am the oncoming chief mate.
for the next couple of programs. So it's like one step below the captain. And basically I'll be coordinating all the different activities and evolutions on the vessel, making sure people are in the right places at the right times, organizing the schedules for the students as well as the crew, doing all the things and making sure the ship runs as smoothly as possible.
I'm Mackenzie Meyer, and I am the first Marine Tech on board the Corwith Cramer.
My name's Allie Fox, and I am also the first Marine Tech on board. Taken over from Kenzie when she's done.
I mean, the ocean tells us a lot about our planet as a whole, which I think is one of the reasons ocean research is so cool. We are obviously a land-centric species, but there's so much to learn about how our climate and weather work from the ocean, how our ecosystems work from the ocean as well.
It's really interesting on its own as like a fascinating part of science, but it also has a lot of impacts on us and on our own health. Like the health of marine organisms and the ocean impacts our food, it impacts our air, our ability to swim and go to the beach, even everything big to small, we are impacted by the ocean as well.
All of these tests we do on board the Corwith Cramer, so the students will get to deploy the instruments and equipment off the boat and then come back into the dry lab and actually run the test aboard and get real-time data, which I think is really exciting. We're not waiting, sending stuff back ashore to actually be able to look at the numbers and the data that we're gathering aboard the ship.
What a sight that ship is, and what a unique opportunity for the students aboard. It's a reminder of how closely tied Falmouth is to the sea, not just in history, but in education and innovation today.
Still ahead, Woods Hole opens its doors for a day of science. Researchers tackle invasive green crabs, and Farming Falmouth welcomes neighbors to Open Farm Day.
Stay with us. Falmouth in Focus will be right back.
If your neighbor's house caught fire, would you call 911? Of course you would. People here watch out for their neighbors. If you'd like to help your neighbors, volunteer for us. We're the 911 for consumer problems. Hi, I'm Bruce Blackwell, Executive Director of the Consumer Assistance Council. We are the Attorney General's local consumer watchdog agency. We help anyone who's having a problem with a business. Whether it's a car repair, a contractor, a cell phone bill, we fight for you. We'll try to get your money back or your service restored. We're not lawyers, we're just a fun group of regular citizens like you who want to give back to their communities. And we really need your help. All we ask is just 3 hours one morning or afternoon per week. We'll provide all the training you could possibly need. If you want to help your community, call me at 508-771-0700. That's 508-771-0700. You can make a difference.
Welcome back. One of the things that makes Falmouth unique is the presence of so many world-class scientific institutions, all in one small village.
Each summer, Woods Hole invites the public in for its annual Science Stroll. It's a day where laboratories and organizations open their doors, share their work, and connect directly with the community through hands-on activities, demonstrations, and conversations.
Hi, my name's Colin Reed. I'm the Director of Community Engagement and Community Relations here at the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. So the institution prides itself on telling its scientific story. All of our researchers, all of our engineers, all of our scientists come together, but this isn't just WHOI. This is also in combination with the Marine Biological Laboratory and NOAA, and then all sorts of different other scientific and educational institutions around here. And it's our way to give back to the community and show off what we actually do.
Yeah, so the Marine Research Services Department has a table set up here. We're representing the MRC, which is this building right behind us. And so what I've done is collected a few local organisms to show to people, to explain what they are, a little bit about what they're used for in research. I think the main thing is that I'm trying to engage a lot of the young people. There are a lot of really young children here, and so you kind of have to pick your audience and choose what you're going to talk about, what you're going to highlight, and it just kind of piques their curiosity to kind of know more about the animal, with the idea that if they know more, they'll want to learn more and care more about what's happening to the animals.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal way to get out to the public and show just how much science is happening here in Woods Hole. This, Woods Hole runs on science. That's our new banner there, which is absolutely true. If you're not seeing it when it is open for business, you would miss all of the science. So this is our way to show off the science from the basics to the very big programs.
And I think it's a nice, bonding event for the community. Because Woods Hole is a very scientific place, and so we all come together and we kind of share our enthusiasm for science, and I think that also kind of just helps bolster us and give us hope for the future.
Telling our scientific story is huge, and especially now in today's world, we need to tell the importance of science. And I could see this blossoming over the years and really doing something central to Water Street, where perhaps we can bring in more science, more vendors, more science from the region, not just right here in Woods Hole and Falmouth, but bringing it to new audiences across the board, I think would be very cool.
Every summer I come across people who say that they were here years ago and they were so inspired and they made it their mission to be able to come back in some capacity to Woods Hole or to the MBL. So yes, I think it definitely touches people in a deep, profound way, and can really affect the trajectory of their career going forward.
Part of the science that goes on in Woods Hole involves green crabs, an invasive little species of crustacean that has been wearing out its welcome in various ecosystems around the world.
But WHOI scientists have great methods for observing and documenting the biology of these crabs. It's disposing of them that can be, at best, inconvenient, and at worst, rather whiffy. But now, an informal partnership is beginning to develop between the scientists and some local farmers looking to feed the soil. We get this story from Farming Falmouth with the generous cooperation of the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution.
Green crabs, full formal name European green crabs. They're crabs from Europe that made their way to North America around 200 years ago. And these crabs are really prolific invasive species. I like to say they're kind of chaos monkeys. They do a lot of things like rip up eelgrass beds, which are really important habitat for juvenile fish and other crab species. They also, like another thing I like to call them is hungry hippos, because if anything's smaller than them, they will eat it.
They've invaded multiple niches that were not theirs to begin with, and now they're causing problems in terms of ecological balance and biodiversity balance.
They're competing with native species, especially species that we think about as being important for seafood. So it does have an impact on our aquaculture systems, our fishery systems. So we do a lot of live animal experiments to test how resilient green crabs are to different temperatures. So a lot of green crab dissections, taking tissues that we're interested in to then look at the nitty-gritty tiny molecules in these organisms and figure out, what in those tiny molecules are helping these animals be really resilient to temperatures, or what can those molecules tell us about how green crabs are spreading.
So this is a heart rate monitor probe, which is connected to a computer and a software. They have a bump where their heart is. And so if you touch this monitor to it, and then we look at the computer screen, and so that is how you take a crab rate, crab heart rate.
So we're gonna take this crab, flip it on its back. And that crab turned itself back over in about a second. So they're very fast flippers when they're doing well. We take crabs, we put them in really cold water or really warm water to try and understand how they may be responding to those conditions. As part of our work, we generate a lot of what Carolyn lovingly refers to as a crabsicle. It's just a frozen crab. It may not be the most intact crab after we're done with it, after we take what we need from it. But we just got a lot of frozen crabs hanging out in a walk-in cooler. kind of waiting for a better calling. And so my thought was, okay, like I know Farming Falmouth recently acquired some new land. I know that they've been working in the service garden. I bet you they would love to have some extra crabs to amend their beds. To like say the least, like our custodian, Patty, has requested us not to put green crabs in the trash. And if we do, we have to let her know. Otherwise, like it'll stink up the whole hallway and it'll last even when the crabs are gone.
You get a low tide smell that becomes aggressively low tidey.
I would say a beach that's just been baking in that hot summer sun at low tide with all of the seaweed and everything.
Deal.
The dead green crabs are what we call a green or a high nitrogen. So we're going to mix that with browns, which is very much of these wood chips and things that are coming from the forest, the detritus. And so it's really a blending of those two. It eventually starts to look like this. I swear there was green crabs and there was oysters and there was steamers and lots of stuff. This is the tree mulch, ready to bring the nutrition to these trees this fall. And they are looking great.
Farming Falmouth celebrated a big day recently, a kind of coming out party, if you will.
That's right, Eileen, and I was there. The coming out party was for The Patch, a 6-acre farm that Farming Falmouth successfully purchased in June after an intensive fundraising campaign. It's going to grow food for donation and serve as a resource for teaching and modeling regenerative agriculture. The opening ceremony included a ribbon cutting and a blessing of the land. Farming Falmouth shares this video of the event.
So we want to start by just welcoming you all. We are thrilled to see you here. We're thrilled to be celebrating this moment. One of the things we're most thrilled about is that we have together the town, foundations, banks, volunteers, donors. Together, we have preserved a 6-acre farm. And I'm just going to say I'm biased. I just think it's a beautiful farm.
Over 300 individuals, organizations, foundations, the state of Massachusetts, and the town of Falmouth made this possible. This dream come true, and I'm deeply moved by your generosity and the trust you've given to us in this place. This day is proof of what community can accomplish when we work together.
Truly an exciting day. You know, we cut a lot of ribbons from the Chamber of Commerce, but this is the first time I think we've ever done a farm, and that's just really good. And I love what Ellie said about sharing the land, because as you know, here in Falmouth, we need land for people to grow food and we need land for housing, but it's got to be shared. One thing cannot necessarily take a precedent over the other, and we always have to look at the highest and best use. So now, anybody wants to take a picture before we cut? Now's a good time. And we can count to 3. Pull it tight.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. There you go.
Oh no!
Gotta use the chain.
Throughout human history, communities have held ceremonies to bless the land on which they live and work. Today we do the same. We honor the gift of this land and dedicate this farm to the good work of growing food, building community, and nurturing life. This is sacred space. Please join me in the spirit of prayer. God of many names, we thank you for this most amazing day, for the leaping greenly spirits of trees and a blue, true dream of sky. We thank you for this patch of paradise, living land that connects us to each other and to community, land that calls us to be caretakers and stewards of the earth, land that feeds bodies and souls and calls us to something deeper and bigger than ourselves. Today and all days, through every season, we ask for your blessings, your favor, your protection. Bless this land, this farm. May it be a place of abundance and justice and joy. Bless all who work this farm, enriching it with tender care and toil. Bless all who will be fed by its harvest in body and in soul.
When we return, Crafts by the Harbor, a community campaign to preserve a lighthouse, and the annual swim at Old Silver Beach.
Hello, I'm Jay Zavala. I live in Falmouth, and I'm fighting Parkinson's disease. Almost 10 years ago, my wife, Susan, noticed I had a slight tongue flutter and occasional finger tremors in my primary hand. Being over 70 years of age at the time, and at her urging, I quickly made an appointment with a neurologist. However, the first diagnosis was so disquieting that I sought a second opinion from a movement disorder specialist who accurately diagnosed me as having Parkinson's disease. I attended a Parkinson's educational presentation in Hyannis, hosted by the Massachusetts chapter of the American Parkinson's Disease Association, APDA-MA. And I learned that Parkinson's disease is a type of neurologic movement disorder affecting the brain and causing difficulty with movements or motor symptoms. Its most common motor symptoms include tremors, a form of rhythmic shaking, stiffness or rigidity of the muscles, and slowness of movement called bradykinesia, but also manifests in non-motor symptoms including sleep problems, constipation, anxiety, depression, and fatigue, among many others non-motor symptoms, which can present well before any visible motor symptoms occur. Parkinson's disease is a chronic and progressive condition, meaning that the symptoms become worse over time and can affect the ability to perform common daily activities. This disease cannot be cured yet, but medication, supportive treatment, lifestyle changes, and even surgery can help manage the symptoms, especially if treatment is started early. I know that daily I work to slow down the progression of Parkinson's through diet, exercise, sleep, and care with prescription medications. I believe it's working. To learn more about this disease and what APDA is doing through a nationwide network of local chapters and virtual events to deliver education, support, research, and patient services to people with Parkinson's and their families each day, visit our website or call me locally. Thank you.
Welcome back. One of Falmouth's biggest summer traditions is the Rotary Club's annual craft fair.
Held at Marine Park, the fair features dozens of local artisans, live music, and a welcoming atmosphere that draws both residents and visitors. But beyond the fun, the event raises funds for scholarships and community initiatives supported by the Rotary Club of Falmouth.
I grew up in Falmouth and graduated in 2001, and I currently live in the Berkshires now, but I'm down here for vacation and was invited to come to this market. So here I am, and I actually believe I received a scholarship from the Rotary Club in my graduating year of high school. So they directly impacted my ability to go to college, and I'm happy to be able to support them right back. Markets of any kind, whether they're maker, craft, or just food oriented, it's a way for people to gather together in a way that they may not be able to on a regular basis. It's a set time where people come together. This is annual, so everyone knows that it's time for the Rotary Makers Market. What's great about that is it connects people that may have grown up here but don't live here anymore with people who still are here year round. And it also opens people up to seeing what's possible. Maybe someone has been thinking about doing jewelry or creating something, and now they can see it's actually not that far a leap to give it a try.
Hi, I'm Robin Singer. I'm with the Falmouth Rotary Club, and we have a partnership with Her Future Coalition, an organization that was started in Sandwich, Massachusetts, and we help girls in India, in Nepal, and in Kenya that have been trafficked into brothels and have been rescued, and we do both the rehabilitation and getting them ways of making a living, and we also work with at-risk girls to educate them because literacy will be their way of becoming inoculated from being trafficked. We're selling all sorts of wonderful things today. We have laptop bags, and we have coin purses, and we have beautiful scarves. We have necklaces, earrings, bracelets, rings. So come to Rotary. Come join Rotary. Come join us in this kind of endeavor. We also do a lot of local projects in Rotary, and we'd love to see you come out. We meet at the Museums on the Green on Tuesdays at 5:30, every other Tuesday. Go to our website. We'd love to see you join this great work.
It's always great to see how the craft fair blends creativity and community spirit, with proceeds going right back into projects that make Falmouth stronger.
Another community effort that's making a difference is Fix the Wicks. This campaign is dedicated to restoring and preserving one of our historic homes.
Fix the Wicks is a capital campaign that's looking to raise $1 million over the course of the next 3 years. Within the $1 million, we have 3 financial goals. First and foremost is restoration and climate control. And I'm very happy to report that we reached one of our primary goals, which is installing an HVAC system into the Wicks house. In addition, we are doing some restoration projects within that first goal. In the front foyer of the home, there is a wallpaper that's circa 1803, and it's a French wallpaper, and it's a very special piece. It's one of only 3 examples of it in the United States, and the other 2 are at the Smithsonian, as well as the Boston MFA, so we're in really great company there.
The Wicks house is a special place, and we usually give tours the days that we're open and during the season, which is the end of May till Columbus weekend. And the tours are free to the public. We always look forward to doing these. And I like Dr. Wicks. I like to talk about him. He was the first owner of the house. He was actually born on this property on a smaller house, but he built this beautiful big house after he came back from the Revolutionary War. His medical office is one of my favorite places because of some of the interesting things that it has in it.
And then finally, we are interested in expanding community outreach programs, specifically around what we learn from the house restoration with it being a historic home. We're working with Full Circle Homes to do a lot of these very specialty kinds of restorations. And we have a lot of historic homeowners in the community that could benefit from the same education to make sure that they're protecting their historic treasures as well. So that's the major goals within the $1 million. And we are about a year in, and we're over $200,000 now, so well on our way. And if you're interested in learning more information about the Fix the Wicks campaign, I highly recommend going to museumsonthegreen.org/fixthewicks. It has all of the information you need about what we're doing with the house, where we're at right now. And there's also several interactive hyperlinks within that page that take you to our campaign catalog and various ways to give. You can also reach out to the museum, or you can email fixthewicks@museumsonthegreen.org for more information or ways to give.
This home has been a part of Falmouth since its earliest days, and it's heartening to see residents rally together to preserve it for the future.
And finally, swimmers once again gathered at Old Silver Beach for an event that's both competitive and deeply personal. David's Old Silver Swim honors the memory of David Garber while raising funds for Compassionate Care ALS.
Talking to you from David's Swim, David's Old Silver Swim. David Garber, who this swim is named after, was became a dear friend of mine. David lived with ALS, I want to say, for 15, 16 years. David was an incredibly well-known and incredibly respected dentist here in town. His idea was to be able to give back, and created, with some dear friends of his, the first David's Swim, hosted here at the Seacrest Beach Hotel. Yeah, hi, I'm Ron Hoffman, founder and executive director of Compassionate Care ALS. Compassionate Care ALS is a nonprofit organization started probably October 30th of 1998 upon the passing of Gordon Heald. I was Gordon's caregiver, and that was my introduction to the world of ALS as his caregiver. And as time went on, we saw that there needed to be another way of tending to and caring for individuals. So Gordon and his wife, Betsy, graciously said yes when I had the idea of putting a fund together in his name. We created the Gordon T. Heald ALS Fund upon Gordon's passing. As several years passed by, that birthed Compassionate Care ALS, the nonprofit that we are today. Today, we're here 15 years later. This is our 15th David Swim. And David was passionate about this. He cared deeply. That's what we're doing here. I think today we had over 160, maybe 170 swimmers. And it's just an extraordinarily beautiful event with dear friends of David, family members still partaking, and it's pretty extraordinary. So that's our work. We're based here in Falmouth, Mass. Our website is ccals.org. That's Charlie Apple Larry Sam.org if you're interested in our work, and much appreciation for you and your station. And this is who we are. Thank you.
What a wonderful tribute and a reminder of how our community comes together year after year to support causes that matter.
That's going to wrap up this edition of Falmouth in Focus. I'm Eileen Preston.
And I'm Michael Kasparian. We thank you for joining us and invite you to keep watching for more ways our town shines.
We'll leave you now with the sights and sounds of the North Falmouth Porchfest.
Rocky Top, Tennessee. Well, there ain't no smoggy smoke on Rocky Top, ain't no telephone bill. And that's why all of the folks on Rocky Top go round and thrill. And Rocky Top will always be home, sweet home, me. A good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. The strangers went to climb on Rocky Top, looking for moonshine still. Strangers ain't come down off Rocky Top, don't believe they ever will. I think poor Charlie, somebody,